Hi guys, George here again doing another in the field thermal test. Today I have the Nocpix Ace L35. This scope, this has become one of my top recommendations. It's absolutely brilliant. So I'll give you a quick rundown. It's a 384 sensor, so not the highest, but I'll explain in a little minute why it's still one of my top recommendations for people getting into thermal. 35mm focal length paired with that sensor equals a 4x base mag, which I'm a massive fan of. Going back, you've got 30mm tube running at sub 18 millikelvin, so nice high-end sensitivity. I will do my best to show you some of its other features, but the real party trick of this scope is this zoom ring here. This essentially is, they call it ocular zoom. What it does is you have your screen here in the rear, which you look at, obviously, but as you zoom in, it adds an extra 3x zoom, taking it to 12 magnification. But what's happening is it's a lens system in this eyepiece that zooms in on the screen. And so the result of that is a lot less pixelation. It means a 384 sensor can punch well above its weight, and you have a sub £2,000 scope competing with a lot higher end stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the footage through this, going to run it through our standard thermal test, the rat's in close, about 10 or so metres out to our fallow buck about 200 yards away. I will go through its digital zoom, but I can't show you that ocular zoom. Right, so just recording there, there's our rat at 10 metres or so. Now, as you can see, that's quite a narrow field of view for most thermal scopes. This is starting at 4. I particularly like that. Typically, I don't shoot on anything under 6. Well, 6 is where I like to hover around anyway. Some people like lower. It's personal preference. There's no right or wrong there. Now, you might pick it up on the camera. You'll see me twisting it. But I've just zoomed into 12 mag. With absolutely no pixelation loss. You might have picked it up on the camera over there. And what I'm doing, you can see I'm doing it. One thing to mention, essentially that zoom does act as a first focal plane, so the reticule and everything expand. But I am going to go through the digital zoom. As you know, I think that's a valuable test. The reason I think this is a valuable test, even on something up close and small, is that that is a small target with a small heat source with fine details, the ears and such. You see its little tail poking out there. And you're asking a lot of the thermal when you do this. That means, I mean, that's quite clear. We're on our top 16 times zoom digitally, and that's recognisably a rat. If I zoom in here, that's 3 times that. So we've got massively high magnification. You're going to have to take my word on it. That still looks like a rat. What's 3 times 16? I can't do my maths today. High magnification anyway. Higher than a lot of target scopes. So I'm going to just back that magnification off. Oh, one thing worth mentioning. The top turret up here doesn't click. It's silent. Well thought out hunting idea that. It's not going to give away any position, you're not making more noise. I think that's quite nice. So just going to pan around now. Now you will notice that Nocpix, they process their imagery differently to the, let's say, the likes of Hic Micro. Again, I don't think this is a right or wrong answer. I think this is just what you prefer. I have seen this almost sort of muddy the image with the amount of detail it can add. But here, you can see our squirrel there. Here's our mid-range fox there. Just get him nice and in focus. And we'll zoom in. So, starting to see the limits of a 384 sensor there. But that's perfectly fine and usable for shooting. And again, I'm just using that ocular ring, which is far more natural to use, and that's easily more identifiable as a fox. Really great feature. Going to pan over to the left here. We're going to look at our deer head poking out over the hill there. Get him in focus as best I can. There we are. Excuse me. And you just have to, again, you can see the limits of a 384 sensor there. The small antlers are a little harder to make out. Going to go to our 200 metre fallow. What's that over there? Get him as in focus as possible. And you know I like to zoom in all the way on this. Again, this is still a usable image. I mean, 16 digital zoom. Not many of us are going to need more than that, and I could quite happily identify and shoot that deer there. And I'm just going to back it off now, give you the full field of view. You see it is a little bit more narrow, but still plenty usable. So I'm just going to end the recording here. So guys, that's been the Nocpix Ace L35. If you want to find out more, comment down below or get in touch. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Nice, mate.